We're going to talk about how the Thief subclass, which gains an extra bonus action at level 3, interacts with all the other new subclasses. One thing to keep in mind is that if we're going to take the Thief subclass, the maximum level we're going to get in any other class is level 9. And lots of people might also want just to go to 8 in one class and 4 in the Thief to make sure we do get 3 feats. For most of these, this will just be a discussion. But after discussing each of the possibilities, I will show you one build I made for one of the classes. So for the new Barbarian subclass, Giant Barbarian subclass, having 2 bonus actions means you could rage, and also if you've got an offhand attack in the same turn, or jump. That's going to be true for every class, right? You'll get an extra jump in, or if an item uses a bonus action. At level 5, Giant Barbarians do get Boot of the Giants, which you can kick a target away. You could do that twice. It's almost the same as shoving, but you do a tiny bit of damage. Is it worth it? Probably not. The Bards, this will be College of Glamour. This is the one where I'm going to show you a build with this. It's not really like an amazing build. You're not going to kill everything really quickly, but it does get a bit more use out of one of the abilities. So at level 3, College of Glamour Bards can use their Mantle of Inspiration, but other than that, they're not really going to use their bonus action until they get to level 6, Mantle of Majesty Command. So you can command a creature with each bonus action. So it takes a bonus action to cast Mantle of Majesty Command, and then a bonus action to use it. And in subsequent turns, if you're still concentrating, you can use command on 2 different targets. One thing to note is if targets are charmed, they automatically fail the saving throw, and the Mantle of Inspiration can cause enemies to be charmed. I'll show that later. The Death Domain Clerics, they don't get any new actions or abilities that go with bonus actions, so there's not much to say there. For Druids, the Circle of the Stars, they get 3 starry forms. 2 of them get an extra ability with the bonus action, but they are limited to once per turn, not once for every bonus action you have. So the starry form Archer can only cast Luminous Arrow once, not twice. And the same thing goes for starry form Dragon. They can only let out 1 Dazzling Breath per turn, which is sad. For the Arcane Archer, they get a level 7 ability called Curving Shot. You can use a bonus action to attack the next closest target after you miss with a magical ranged attack. However, that is also once per turn. None of the actual arrows use a bonus action. For Way of the Drunken Master Monks, this is going to be the same with other monks, right? They get Drunken Technique, which is a bit like Flurry of Blows, that uses a bonus action to hit twice. So Thieves go just as well with Way of the Drunken Master as they would do Way of the Open Hand, except that Way of the Open Hand is basically just stronger, which is quite sad. For Oath of the Crown Paladins, all of their Channel Oath abilities use a bonus action, and once you have more than 1 Channel Oath charge, you could use them both in, or 2 different ones in the same turn. Kind of cool, but that's about as far as it goes. For Swarm Keepers, the only way I think this really affects them is if you are dual wielding and you get an extra bonus action attack, offhand attack per turn, then you've got extra chances to use your swarm options. Other than that, there's nothing particularly special. Yes, their Writhing Tide ability does use a bonus action, but you only need to use that once per turn. Don't need to use it twice. We can't multiclass a Thief with a Swashbuckler because they're both rogues. For Shadow Magic Sorcerers, yes, the Hound of Ill Omen uses a bonus action to cast and 3 sorcery points. I think most of the time you're probably going to cast that outside of combat, so I don't think it affects Shadow Sorcerers any more than it would affect any of the other types of Sorcerer that there are. Having an extra bonus action for a Hexblade is no different to any other type of Warlock, really. Yes, the Hexblade's Curse uses a bonus action to use and cast, but they only get 1 per short rest, so having 2 bonus actions per turn doesn't make a difference to that. And lastly, we have Blade Singing. Having 2 bonus actions will only affect Blade Singing if you're dual wielding, because if you hit with a weapon attack, you get an extra Blade Song healing charge, so you could build up those charges more quickly. But of course, when you take 3 levels in Thief for any of the spellcasting classes, the maximum is level 9, which means the maximum spell slot you're going to get is 5 with no level 6 spells. So you really have to want to have that type of character who has got 2 bonus actions, potentially dual wielding. So I'm going to show you the Bard. I'm not going to go through the whole leveling up process. The whole point is just to show off Mantle of Majesty Command. I've got 6 levels in Bard just to get this ability. 2 levels in Druid specifically. You can probably guess where this is going. One of the new subclasses, specifically Starry Form Dragon. And then 4 levels of Rogue, 3 for a Thief, and 4 just to get an extra feat. So I put my Charisma up to 18 and gave myself Resilience and Constitution. So now our saving throws are at a +8. The Nymph Cloak, this is just to have Dominate Person to go with the theme of the build. A couple of items that inflict Radiating Orbs. When we deal Radiant damage, this is to go with the Dazzling Breath. And the fact we get Guiding Bolt. And the Guiding Bolt comes from the Circle of the Stars Druid. Boots of Striding, this is really important, so we can't be knocked prone while we're concentrating. Marka Heshkir and Kethric's Shields, and the Amulet of the Devout to increase spell save DC. I just want to point out that while you are using Starry Form, any Starry Form, you do get the bonus of the Shapeshifter's Boon Ring. And lastly, Ring of Mental Inhibition, so that if they do fail a saving throw against a spell, they've got mental fatigue, so they're more likely to fail in the future. And before I go into combat, we do want to use Mantle of Inspiration. Unfortunately, since we're not at a higher level, we only get 3 targets. I'm going to put it on my allies. I could put it on himself as well for a second Bardic Inspiration charge, but I feel like it's a bit of a waste of Bardic Inspiration charges. So if an enemy hits one of these 3, they're going to be charmed. And that means that Majesty of Command will just work. Right, let's get into a fight and show you this Mantle of Command. Oh, that's a Shadow Heart. Come on. So let's hope this works. So there they are, they're charmed. So I'm going to use Mantle of Majesty Command. So the first thing I'll do, just because this person is charmed, let's make them drop their weapon 100%. So we are now concentrating. No one else is charmed, but we get the option to use it on the right here. So we can use this on a second person. Shadowheart does have the Resonance Stone, which means they have disadvantage on their Wisdom saving throws, which is pretty cool. So let's use it on the Artilleryst there. Boom, weapon dropped. And we've still got the action to go. But I can't concentrate on anything. We're going to see that the Constitution saving throws, they're going to pass it every time. The minimum they can roll is a 10 because of Styroform Dragon. It's not going to fail his Constitution saving throws. So with his 2 bonus actions, he can use Majesty of Mantle again. Can also use Dazzling Breath. They've got loads of Radiating Orbs. You can make Steel Watchers flee. Pretty useful. Make sure they miss. Bunch of Radiating Orbs. With the Resonant Stone nearby, it's going to be much easier to make these guys drop their weapons, which debilitates them for at least 1 turn, if not more. Just let me know how you think the Thief integrates well with some of the new subclasses, or whether it doesn't. For me, most of them don't benefit that much, but it's nice to see one way to get some use out of this Mantle of Command. The really big downside is it's once per long rest. It does require concentration, but we can kind of combat the concentration element at least. Thank you very much for watching, and to all the members of my channel, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. I want to star in. Yeah. There we are.